Myself, Rod Ramsey, Director of Operations at MRG Tool and Die. So I can't be humble, but I'll share a few things. Chamber Board Chairperson for 2015, member of the EDA, and I was on the Vision Steering Committee for what we're going over with the Vision 2040. So I was thankful to be part of that group and organization. So, welcome again to today's event. It's kind of a combination of state of the city. John will keep it brief and short, or long, whichever he prefers. And then, more importantly, we get to kick off the official rollout kickoff of the Faribault Community Vision 2040. That helps us get an idea of where we might be going, the lens through what we're going to look at things as they come up to us as a community, as they make decisions going forward. And reflecting back, for a community to be strong and thriving, it must have a strong and thriving business that provides for the jobs, for the community through jobs, careers, services, products, and entertainment. A community is established by a collection of individuals or families that choose to live in a particular place. As more people choose to live in that area, support and services soon are needed. For Faribault, those early jobs are part of the fur trading, agriculture, manufacturing, construction, and education. Faribault is still a growing community with a diverse collection of individuals and families, along with many of these same business segments, even companies that once, we don't have fur trading, not thriving anyways. As part of the Faribault Chamber of Commerce and Tourism, we provide a unique and important role in our community. We thank the city for their partnership and recognizing that in today's event. To support and promote member businesses and our community. What makes this role unique and important is the bridging and interweaving between the business and the community that is required in order to be successful. City government isn't responsible for everything that's in our community. It's a makeup of us as a community, as our organizations, our businesses, our churches, our schools, everything that we kind of come together to strive. Today in the meeting, in this room, we have a wide variety of that. We have our county elected officials, our city elected officials, our state elected officials, representatives from DEED, a number of different businesses, nonprofits, and citizens alike. Without that mixture and that combination, the community really can't say it's a thriving community unless we're all working well together. So the goal of this is that we all start working together better, more productive, and for a common goal. So as we go through today's history, or today's presentation, we get a current state, we get the idea of what is that lens that we're going to be looking towards as we move forward. So each organization can take hold of the vision, find its pieces that it thinks it can help and supplement our community, and to come together as a whole so we can all be successful and we can drive towards 2040. So with that, I'm going to just bring up our mayor, John Jasinski, for his State of the City.
Thanks, Rodney. This isn't working very good, is it? Can you guys hear me or not? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate everybody taking their time out of the day to come here today. We do appreciate that, and we'll go into the vision a little bit later, but again, all the people here today are really the people that are going to help us with this vision that goes on for the next 25 years. Closer? Wow, okay. You don't have germs, do you, Rod? I want to thank Kim Anderson, the chamber staff, and all her and the board for putting this together. They did all the behind-the-scenes things, so I want to thank them. We always have a nice partnership with the chamber, and we appreciate that very much. Also, I'd like to thank our city staff, and again, Brian Anderson and our directors who are here. I'll go through it a little bit. And the city council members, thank them for this as well, to put this together. And I'd also like to thank Nick Stolman, who joined us today as part of our visioning process. We'll talk about a little bit later. I want to thank him for coming and taking time out of his day to come to this event as well. As many of you may know, I just got back from Germany. Brian and myself went to Germany. And over there in Germany, the mayor has provided a driver and a speechwriter. And here I'm not, so you're going to have to bear with me because I don't have a good speechwriter. And Andy can probably attest that I probably need a driver here in town too, so our chief of police. Today's event will be in two parts. Again, I'm going to basically update what's been going on in the city for the last 18 months, 12 months, and then we'll go into the community vision as well. But first off will be what's been going on for the last couple of months. So Brian, can you go back a where are we at for the, go back to the beginning, will you? One more, okay. Again, Kay Duchesne, Steve Underdahl, Kevin Voracek, John Rowan, Joan Van Dyke, and Jana Viscomi as our council members. Jana just joined us this year, so she's one of the new ones. We have a good group of council members. We don't always agree on everything, but we get to debate everything and put it through a process, and everybody gets to get their own input. So it's been a good group, and I appreciated the last 2 years or year and a half of that group, and we look forward to doing many things in the future. Also, I'd like to recognize our staff, Brian Anderson, our city administrator, who many of you well know, Tim Murray, our city engineer, who's over here, Deanna Cannon is back there, from Community Economic Development Director, Dusty Dienst, our fire chief, is up here. Dusty grew up in the community and went from a paid-on-call firefighter to our chief fire chief. So went all the way up through the ranks, and that's great to have someone here locally that does that, so we like that. Carla McCall, who just joined us as our finance director about a year ago, I think. Delane James, our library director. Paul Hanoski, our Parks and Recreation director. Paul's here somewhere. Paul also doubles as our building, or not our building official, but oversees all our buildings and projects and things like that, so he does a little double duty there. Andy Bowen, our chief of police, was right up here somewhere, right there. And Travis Block, our public works director, also someone who started at the wastewater treatment plant, worked through as an operator, and now is our director of public works. So that's great to have all those people come up through the ranks here. This was a recent retreat we did up at our emergency operations center in the police department. So that's our whole crew that does all the work, and we appreciate everyone there. I'll go through a couple things from each of our departments. The finance department, the city has added additional payment options for citizens to pay their bills, including acceptance of credit cards and debit cards online and over the counter. The options to receive electronic billing and account viewing are also benefits of the newly online utility account access. The city continues to hold the A1 credit rating from Standard & Poor's based on the stable outlook of the city's financial operations, including very strong budgetary flexibility and liquidity. Again, through the downturn in 2009 through today, we've maintained very good finance. We're very strong financially, which is always nice to have when you go through the dips and the turns of the down economy. So we're very happy about that. And then we're also implementing the city's new website in July, which is right here. It'll be coming out. We've been working on it for a while with that. So thanks to all our city staff and our people who are going through that. We had a meeting with that on our website is dated. And what we've heard is if you can't get to where you want to go in 3 clicks, people lose interest. So we're going to redesign this website so that you'll be able to get all the information from the city as far as meetings, what's going on in the community, how do I pay a water bill, what's the leak dump hours, all those things should be pretty easily found on there, so I hope you use that. Our fire department, backup generator has been ordered for both the fire department and city hall, which will be used jointly between those facilities, obviously on the same campus there, and we'll do that. That's in process now. Also, the fire station is in remodel progress. The station hasn't been updated in quite some time. It's in very good condition, but again, as things change over time, it hasn't been updated, so we want to get that up to grade. And then we have a new pumper truck has been ordered that's going to show up in about 4 months, I believe, 4 to 6 months. And that's the one that does all the work. It goes on all the calls, so it's a very heavily used truck, and we're looking forward to getting a new one here for that. And then also we continue with advanced training of all our full-time staff. Police department, again, I want to thank Andy for this. This top bullet point is one of the important ones today that I believe. Reduction in crime rate, we're making a serious difference. In 2013, the city reported 882 Part 1 crimes and 1,028 Part 2 crimes for a total of 1,910, which is translated into a crime rate formula. In 2014, 1 year later, the city reported 702 of the Part 1, 875 of the Part 2 for a total of 1,577. This shows a significant decrease in Faribault's crime from 17 to 22% since 2012. Those are some great statistics, folks. Again, we've got a lot of new tools for the police department. We have a police dog now. We have the crime task force that you'll see here in a little bit, but we've done a good job. We're trying to get up to full staff, get staffing where it should be, because that we followed through the visioning process. That's very important to our citizens. We've also initiated crime-free multi-housing. So far, 8 problematic tenants have been evicted. 1 property owner is on probation for ignoring the ordinance and continuing to allow to rent to bad tenants. And we have trained nearly 50 separate property owners in the day-long training held police facility. I went through that training myself as a landlord. I think it's a great training tool for our landlords in town to make sure that their rental properties stay up. This is something that also came up in the visioning that people want to see properties maintained. Next, we have downtown cameras installed. Parallel Technologies installed 3 light pole mounted camera stations, each containing several high resolution cameras focusing several directions along Central Avenue. These can be watched at the police department and they're recorded, so if there's ever any incidences down there, we can look back at these cameras and see what's been going on. We believe it's a good deterrent for downtown. Excellent, Brett. The Cannon River Drug and Violent Offenders Task Force, since their creation in 2014, the growing task force has already been accredited for over 100 arrests, which included 88 specifically for felony-level drug offenses, conducted 20 search warrants, assisted in major violent crime arrests, seized approximately $100,000 of street value in seized narcotics, forfeited another $60,000 in drug cash and vehicles, and removed 14 firearms from violent offenders. Next, the Emergency Operations Center and Mobile Command's vehicle setup. The first one on your left is the one that EOC that we set up in the police department. And the second one is a joint facility between Rice County and City of Faribault for a mobile command unit. So there are other things we've added to our police department as a tool to help us fight crime here in Faribault. For library, physical inventory of more than 80,000 available library books and audiovisual materials. We piloted the North Star Digital Literacy Basic Computer Skills collaboration with St. Paul St. Paul Public Library and Faribault Adult Basic Education. Creation of the library's first ever strategic plan. Installation of Little Tykes Young Explorers Computer Station. Additional out-of-school time programming. Additional adult legacy programming. Installation of an iPod lab. And remote library Wi-Fi opportunities. All that's happening in the library. And then just next to the library is our senior center. And then you'll see here that's coming up, or you've probably seen it already. They're starting their campaign for their expansion project, which is great. Mona's back there. And she's been working on that campaign, so we hope that becomes a reality here shortly, raising money for that. Parks and Recreation, climbing wall at the community center and indoor aquatic center. So we added a climbing wall to our outdoor aquatic center that can also be taken down and used in our indoor pool during the winter months. So it was did a study on what we can do to add to make that aquatic center to stay very viable in our community. And this was one of the small ticket items that has added a lot of value for us to keep people coming to our aquatic centers. We also ordered replacement strength equipment in the fitness rooms, flooring and lockers fitness room at the community center. I think those lockers have been slated to be replaced for probably 15 years, and we finally got that done. So we've been trying to use our money wisely and getting by as much as we can with what we have. So we finally did approve those. We have complete trails under the 2nd Avenue and North Alexander Park. As many of you saw, that's in progress right now as far as the North Alexander, and the bridge is being completed as well. That'll be a nice asset to continue on to all our parks that we have in our trail system. So that's an important connection. We have a little bit more of a connection going from there to get over to Hewlett Avenue by Crossroads. And then in 2019, we're also slated to connect from Therapy Works down to the White Sands Trailhead facility. So that'll basically encompass our whole city with the trail that will be connected that people can enjoy and use. The Riverbend Nature Center has begun fundraising for a nature-based preschool as well. Engineering, Highway 60 and downtown area improvements last year. We completed those along, as you go down the hill from Central Avenue. That was completed last year in front of the new brewery that I'll talk about here shortly. Central Avenue reconstruction was done from 7th Street by Trails Edge down to 14th Street. That was one of our older system streets that was dated way back to almost the 1800s and some of the public utilities. So that was nice to get that done. As you see, since that's been done, people have been kind of improving their properties along Central Avenue, which makes it much better. So, Southwest water main improvements, that's along Highway 21. You'll be seeing what's going on now and has been going on this spring to put in our water main that will improve our water pressure and quality. Utility improvements, flood protection mitigation that's happened down our wastewater treatment plant, the viaduct lift station modifications, the water reclamation facility flood wall that saw some damage back in the flood in 2010. We're getting at those items to get those improved. Bridge improvements that'll be coming up in 2016-18 is the 2nd Avenue Division Street Bridge replacement, which is behind Divine Mercy. It's one of our older bridges, it's not in good condition. That'll be slated to be improved or upgraded. And then also Highway 64th Street Northwest reconstruction. This is slated for 2019, and this will affect all of us in this room. This will run from Affinity Federal Credit Union and Farmer Seed all the way down to Central Avenue. So it's one of our highly trafficked streets, and it will take a lot to get that done. Tim Murray has done a good job with MnDOT. MnDOT always seems to try and put more and more responsibility on the cities from a financial standpoint. So Tim has done a good try trying to balance that to keep the responsibility on the state. Public Works, 2014 was the first full year of receiving wastewater from Roberts Lake Service District. This district contributes about 337,000 gallons per month on average, which is about 10,000 gallons per day, which is about 0.25% of our capacity. And again, this is a project that got done. We started in 2009, finally came to being done, and it's showing good improvements for the Roberts Lake area, and again, adding revenue for us as a city. The Climate Resilience Evaluation Awareness Tool Creek project began. The project looked at the utility infrastructure and threats that it is exposed to in relation to climate change, such as flooding. And the East Taxi Lane Pavement Rehabilitation Project will address the pavement deficiencies in the East Taxi Lane at the airport. Last year we did the West End, and this year we'll be doing East End to keep our airport in good condition. Community and economic development. Again, this is always my favorite part. What's going on in our community as far as business. Faribault Foods expansion and acquisition. I think there's Gary's back here, but Faribault Foods obviously sold this last year, and they are going to be expanding in the industrial park. I think they've acquired about 24 acres, and they'll be expanding into a can-making facility and a processing in the industrial park, which you'll see will be a huge addition here in the years to come. Very exciting for Faribault. A little nervous about Gary trying to retire one of these days, but very good for Faribault as far as what's coming in the future as far as them investing in capital in Faribault. Next, Dakota Furniture has purchased 2 buildings in the downtown to manufacture high-end custom furniture. That's in the 200 block of Central, another exciting thing for downtown. RC Superstore, located in Faribault, just relocated from Bedford. They relocated from a 3,000 square foot facility to a 7,200 square foot facility in Faribault here. You won't see a lot of this. They don't do a lot of market. It's mostly all over the internet. But they have a great business and probably process over 300 orders per day going out of their facility. So all the auxiliary businesses and things like that that will help support that are fantastic. And they're going to be up and operating the 1st of July. So they'll be here in Faribault in the Cannon Building, right by Charter Communication. Deanna and myself were involved in that one to get those relocated, so thanks Deanna. And they're very excited to be in Faribault. The Roller Mills will be celebrating their 150th anniversary this August. I think it's August 15th. Very exciting for Faribault. Chatted with Paul just the other day, and the Faribault Roller Mills is doing very well. They're excited about their business, and they have about 85 full-time employees now, so very, very good to have them up and operating strong here in town. Bethlehem Academy is also celebrating their 150th anniversary as well. And then IFP is doing an expansion, including an innovation center, a $1 million lab, and showplace and conference center. So again, other exciting things that are going on. The Inn at Shattuck St. Mary's just recently opened, a great facility up there. I think many of you have been there. We did part of the visioning process up there. Another great asset to have here in Faribault, which also comes in the Downtown Museum Project. This is something we've been talking about as part of this visioning process. I want to thank Nick Stoneman and the rest of the folks who have been involved with this. This is really starting to gain some momentum, and I think it's going to be very, very exciting for downtown. Again, this will probably be a little more than visioning, but this is something that I think is really important for our community. I think no matter attracting industrial business in the industrial park or what it is, people always want a vibrant downtown, and that's something that we need to work on in the future, and that's something that we're going to do. So, again, thanks to Nick and Dr. Parker, who's been involved with that, some new ideas that we're going to look at, and really try and reinvent downtown to what we need to see in the future in the next 25 years. Obviously, because the retail business has changed over years, we need to look at something to make that a vibrant part of our community. And again, already some great things happening, but we always welcome more help to try and bring that to reality. So again, in the visioning process, I'm going to ask help for that. I think it's something that's very, very important to our community and that we'll be focusing on the next 25 years. And one of those projects, probably one of the neatest things that I've seen for a while in Faribault, is the F-Town Brewery. I think that's going to be a game changer in our downtown. Brian and I, again, just got back from Germany, and seeing what happens over there, I know it's a different culture, but some small portions of that in our community are really going to make some things change downtown. Combine that with the Paradise Center for the Arts and the Cheesecake and everything else exciting that's happening downtown, I think the F-Town Brewery is going to be a very exciting thing for downtown. Oh, passed a couple. I'm trying to rush me through them. I passed my 15 minutes probably. Minnesota Municipal Power Agency added solar panels. South Central College completed their campus, which looks wonderful. Very nice looking facility that we have now. It's a great space for community events and things like that you've been doing some great things with. The security bank clock renovation is in process right now. If you drive by the building today, it's gone. It's being redone and will come back this summer sometime. I don't know if the exact date yet. That's an exciting thing for downtown that Kim Anderson, I want to say thanks to her, the Rotary, who got involved in that. Kim's been on that project since I got elected in 2009. She's not giving up, so this summer we're going to see that. The city is internally financing until all the contributions have been done. So you can definitely contact Kim if you want to contribute to that. They're reaching their goal, but we wanted to get it done this summer. We thought it was important to have that done. So we as the city finance that, and the Rotary Club through their donations will fund that. So very exciting. Also, it's not on there, but the tilt-a-road cart. I know Tammy's here. That will be installed next Thursday, right before the mayor's reception on the corner in front of Burkesmeyer's. Another exciting project we've been waiting on for a while. It's going to come to reality. Another exciting thing happening downtown. And then as part of this visioning plan, the whole comp plan process will be starting. So good timing to do this study on the visioning and get into our comp plan.